Then we have the Pantheon Supersonic. This is an awesome board. Right now I'm testing other boards, so there's no set of spare wheels for this one. But I might get the Karma wheels. Get the Karma wheels. Get. So I recently got the Karma wheels, and so far they're pretty great. They perfectly match my riding style, which is getting groceries, commuting to work, and going short distances in a fun way. So as you see, I'm as basic as you can be, but these wheels were designed for more. And that's why I've gotten some help to actually understand why the wheels are the way they are and what the design should achieve. Jeffrey took some time to answer my questions, so if you're interested in that, watch the whole video. Thanks for your time, I really appreciate it.
Yeah, sure. You don't mind if I do a little bit of work while we're talking, right?
Oh no, I don't mind that. I just want some input.
Okay, yeah, well, I'm here for that.
But you don't have to watch the whole video for that, because I'll give you my opinion on the wheels right away. They are very good. They fit all the Pantheon distance boards, they're pretty light at their size, and they are easily as good as the Speedvans. And those are my favorite wheels. They are fast, they have enough rebound, they are very grippy, so carving is a lot of fun. And what I especially like about them, they can hold momentum very well. A lot of the times you see me filming is just simply when I get groceries, which is about a 5-minute ride, which is a little bit downhill on the way to the store and a little bit uphill on the way back. And what I noticed is, even when I go back up, they hold momentum very well. I feel like I don't have to push as much as with other wheels. Also, the board stays light to carry. So would I recommend them? Yes, if you're getting a new board, getting the Karma wheels is a no-brainer. These wheels feel awesome. But if you currently have Speedvans on, I would not necessarily say that you're getting a whole lot performance more from upgrading. So you're gonna get new wheels? Get the Karma wheels, they are awesome. But if you already have a set of well-performing wheels like the Speedvans, you can wait till your next board to get them. In the end, they are great fun wheels, they have a good size, very light, and are absolutely to recommend. But without further ado, let's get into the questions. One thing that was interesting for me is how you even go about choosing urethane for your wheels.
Yeah, well, there are a couple kind of major important factors. Obviously, urethane choice is a big deal. And we tested a lot of different urethanes, and it took us a while to find the urethane that we liked.
For the urethane, how do you even go about saying, well, okay, I want a wheel, I want it to have good urethane. So what's even the process behind that? Do you just mix things up, or what are you doing?
Well, I mean, obviously, I'm not the one who specializes in mixing urethane.
Okay.
You know, we don't mix it here. What I am is I consider myself a discerning designer and very long time rider. I've ridden almost every product out there. So, you know, as far as picking a wheel, a urethane goes, I know what to look for. And then I've learned some ways to kind of talk about urethane that helps me, you know, talk to a factory and say, hey, I like this, but I want it more this, you know? And so we're talking about things like rebound, we're talking about grip, we're talking, you know, we're obviously we're talking about durometer. You know, we're kind of discussing the kind of characteristics that we're looking for. And then it's the factory's job to kind of take that feedback and, you know, and make little tweaks and stuff like that. So, you know, we wanted a high rebound urethane, but not so high that it was going to chunk everywhere. So, you know, that's kind of you have to be careful about, you know, how hard you push it. So it's a quite high rebound urethane. But yeah, I mean, the first wheels that I got, I thought they sucked, you know. And I thought I actually thought they were so bad. I was like, oh my God, what if I made a huge mistake with this design? Because, you know, obviously the design is a big factor too. It's not just the urethane. The urethane is very important. And then you have to mix that with a design that's going to react with the urethane in the way that you want it to.
Okay.
So I was terrified. I spent all this money, and time and effort, and I got these wheels, and I was like, oh my God, these are freaking terrible.
Okay, wait. Then from another perspective, did you design the core before the urethane?
I designed them together.
Okay,
well,
okay.
No, I mean, I'm sorry. Yes, I designed the core before the urethane.
Okay,
yes.
okay.
Yes. I designed the core and the shape together. Then at that point, I started testing different urethanes, and I tested several, and it took a few months for us to get the urethane the right the right formula for us.
Okay, so they're not just sending you a block and you just press it and see, well, that's okay, but you need to test the whole design in total, right?
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Okay.
And to exemplify how important that is, it's just like, that first set of wheels in the exact shape that we have now were terrible. They were terrible wheels.
So from a feeling perspective, or just durability, or just everything?
Oh no, just from a feeling, they were slow and they didn't grip.
Okay.
And I thought that I had made a design that was going to be exceptional in terms of grip.
Okay.
And so when I got my wheel back and we first started testing, and I couldn't, usually what I'll do is I'll just kind of gradually carve down a hill and see how much force I can put into it before it starts to let go. And they let go so early, and I mean, they were just a bad urethane. I like soft urethane.
Okay.
Period.
Okay.
I've always liked soft urethane. Even when I was, at my peak level of distance racing, when I was racing a lot, I was riding like 77A, 75A.
Huh.
I was riding. Me and Paul Kent set a world record in the marathon together, and
talked to him 2 days ago. Yes, we talked also about that.
Yeah, so I was riding 75A clear blue speed dents.
Really?
On the and I mean, anybody today would be like, those wheels are terribly slow. They're soft, they're comfortable, but they're slow. And I just I don't know. Frankly, I just never bought into it. I just felt like I felt like I was as fast on most wheels, but it really came down to feel. And I thought if I could reduce vibration in my muscles, then that would cause less fatigue, and I'd be able to be faster over a distance. So I like soft urethane. Period.
Oh, okay. That makes a lot of sense, and that explains, of course, the design choice. I mean, at 74A, these are, I would say, one of the softer wheels I even have.
They are, probably. And I mean, one thing that I can say for sure is that we did name, the durometer is accurate to the wheel. So it is a true 74A. And I think it depends on what company you get wheels from, but they don't always measure true.
Oh, okay.
So if you take a durometer tester and you test your wheel, you may end up with something that you weren't really expecting. So Adam Ornelas, he's the world's best distance skater right now, right? And I think, I'll just say it, but he really had a lot to do with the durometer that we chose.
Oh, really?
Because he basically just did all this math, and we were looking for a certain amount of urethane deflection without taking it over. So if basically you want a certain amount of urethane deflection because you want the urethane to conform and to be comfortable, right? But then you also don't want to take it too far, because if you take it too far, you start losing your efficiency. Yeah. So it starts losing energy. So we opted for 74A urethane, given the exact urethane depth that we had, given the exact width of the wheel of our contact patch. And so we chose that very carefully. We're not going to make this wheel in other durometers, because this is the durometer that makes this wheel the best.
Staying on the topic of urethane, these things are cast upside down. And for someone who just takes a wheel and says, well, this feels good, what difference does the casting process in that make?
Yeah. I mean, this is kind of the best wheel that I can kind of show this off with.
Mm-hmm.
It's an 88 Wheelco Maverick, this is a good wheel. I don't think there's anything wrong with the cast direction for a downhill wheel, although personally I have not tested this. So, I don't know if the inner or outer lip is more important for grip on a downhill wheel, because it's, this is somewhat center set. And if the inner lip is very important, but for our wheel, for the Karma wheel, there isn't going to be a lot of inner lip. So we have parameters that we designed this wheel around. Yeah. And what we need to do is make this wheel fit on a drop-through board.
Correct.
It's important. It's important for our brand. It's important for every board that I put together. A lot of them are drop-through. Yeah. So we have a certain amount of inset that we can have on this wheel without causing the wheel to come in and bite the neck. And so I knew that if I was relying on the inner lip for this wheel, I wasn't going to get that much grip, because this inner lip is not the displacement from the bearing seat is just not very far. Correct. So it's just not going to be able to get very much flex. So we went to the other side to get the flex out of this wheel. On this particular wheel, I can't necessarily say that, one way or the other, like how it would perform best without, real proper testing. Yeah. This is a completely different design, but for this particular, the Karma, we need the outer lip to be the lip that gets the grip. So conceptually speaking, when we cast this upside down, which is this direction. So here's our face of the wheel. Normally companies will cast the wheel downward. Yeah. Because you want the face of the wheel to be the prettiest. Of course. You don't want to see bubbles. Any of that stuff. So that was a big part of the design process, was getting this angle just right so that the bubbles would roll up and not stick.
Okay, so after going in depth on the urethane choice, let's actually look at another design choice, which is the groove on the back of the wheel.
Okay, well, so again, same concept. We knew that we weren't going to get flex out of this inner lip. I mean, imagine if this was just a big, roughly 19 millimeter thick block of urethane. Yeah. Like, we're not going to get a lot of flex out of that. So that was just that groove. Well, Urethane did it first. And I'm not, I'm not pretending like it's some super novel thing. I just, when I see a good idea, I'm not going to not do a good idea just because someone else did it, right? So, that is, it's absolutely, it was necessary to get the most out of this wheel, was to put this groove in here. And then really, the only, the one thing that we do differently for sure, when compared to Urthane's wheel is this is poured into this shape, whereas Urthane's is machined. Oh, okay. This is actually part of the mold. Yeah. We really committed to it.
But after talking about the wheel so much, let's actually get into the core. The Nautilus core. I mean, this is, all of the wheels I have a symmetrical core in the design choice. Of course, we have center sets and offsets, but why did you choose to have the outer side look different than the inside? What's up with that?
I would say mostly that had to do with us also knowing that the inside lip was going to be the lip that we needed to flex, was going to be the area of the wheel that we needed to flex more, because we were going to get flex out of the outer lip because we knew how we were going to design this wheel. Yeah. So the outer lip is really there for structure. The outer lip is it takes the all of the forces that get put into that core, and it really provides a backbone for that core. And then the inner lip is designed to flex a little bit, or the inside of the core rather is designed to flex a little bit more and to not create any. If you have a really stiff core and you don't have any flex in that core, the core ends up actually creating kind of like what you might call like hot spots, you know, or like hot zones where all of the forces go into that core right in those, you know, in those spots and cause cores to break. So so our core is designed to flex, and that flex, I mean, consider this shape, the Nautilus shape.
Yeah.
You know, look how much surface area you have for each of those like little fins in there.
Correct.
To create like flex zones, right?
It kind of looks like a bike.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it should look a little bit like a bike. But have you ever seen that? You ever see that bike that they made? They made like a, I think they made like some sort of Nautilus style design.
I think yes.
In the spokes, and then the spokes flexed, and they did that in place of like adding suspension. Yeah, I mean, I think that's conceptually kind of what we're going after.
Okay. Yeah, that explains a lot. So, and fundamentally, it's a wheel, but with some let's say added twists that should like push out a little bit more performance, right?
Yeah, I mean that's the goal. The goal is to, you know, we're really a performance brand, and you know, everything that we do is kind of with that intention. You know, I obviously we're going after an aesthetic with this outer core too. I mean, you know, we're just kind of geeking out around like 90s racing wheels and stuff like that on cars and stuff. So yeah. We thought, you know, branding the core would be really, you know, having a plate on the outside and branding the core would be a really kind of fun thing to be able to do that no one's ever really done.
Well, and this is the result from our talk. I learned quite a lot of new things. I enjoyed it very much. So thanks again to Jeffrey for taking some time out of his busy schedule. I hope you liked the video, and I'll hope we'll see each other on the next one. Bye!